Beneficiary designations in Georgia.
Estate planning can often seem like a complex and overwhelming process, especially when it comes to understanding how your assets will be distributed after you pass away.
In this regard, beneficiary designations are a valuable tool available to Georgia residents. How beneficiary designations work in Georgia.
Beneficiary designations are a legal mechanism that allows individuals to designate a beneficiary to receive specific assets upon the death of the asset's owner, without the need for probate court proceedings. This process applies to a range of assets, including insurance policies, retirement accounts like 401k plans and IRAs, annuities, and certain financial accounts. The designated beneficiary has no rights over the asset while the original owner is alive. Their rights activate only upon the owner's death. If no beneficiary is explicitly named, the terms of the asset's governing contract usually dictate who receives the asset, which might default to the deceased's estate or, in some cases, to the spouse.
Types of beneficiaries. Primary beneficiaries.
Primary beneficiaries are the first in line to receive assets from a retirement account, life insurance policy, trust, or other entity where beneficiary designations are applicable upon the death of the asset owner.
Contingent beneficiaries.
Contingent beneficiaries, also known as secondary beneficiaries, are the backup recipients of assets if the primary beneficiaries are unable or unwilling to accept the inheritance.
Default beneficiaries.
If the asset owner does not designate a primary or contingent beneficiary, or if none of the designated beneficiaries are able to inherit, the assets will then pass to the default beneficiaries as dictated by the default rules of the agreement or state law.
Types of assets that require beneficiary designations. Retirement accounts and their impact on estate planning.
Retirement accounts such as 401ks, IRAs, and other pension plans are among the key assets that typically require beneficiary designations. In Georgia, the designation of a beneficiary for these accounts is critical as it dictates who will receive the assets without the need for probate.
Life insurance policies and beneficiary implications.
In Georgia, the proceeds from life insurance policies are paid directly to the named beneficiaries upon the policyholder's death. This direct transfer not only bypasses probate but also provides immediate financial support to survivors.
Transfer on death, TOD, and payable on death, POD, accounts.
Transfer on death, TOD, and payable on death, POD, designations are both non-probate mechanisms used to directly transfer assets to a beneficiary upon the death of the asset owner. They are simple, effective tools for estate planning that can help avoid the time and expense associated with probate. While they are similar in their primary function, there are distinct differences in their applications and the types of assets they cover.
Beneficiary designations in estate planning.
How beneficiary designations fit into a comprehensive estate plan. It's important that these designations are consistent with the overall objectives of the estate plan and reflect the current wishes of the individual. Regular reviews and updates in response to life events like marriage, the birth of a child, or divorce are crucial to maintaining their effectiveness and ensuring that the assets are distributed as intended.
Coordinating beneficiary designations with wills and trusts. While a will can outline the distribution of most assets, beneficiary designations supersede wills for the assets they cover. Therefore, it's vital to ensure that these designations do not conflict with the instructions in a will or the provisions of a trust. Impact of beneficiary designations on probate process in Georgia.
Assets that have valid beneficiary designations are not subject to probate. This means they are transferred directly to the named beneficiaries without being tied up in the legal process, which can be both time-consuming and expensive. By effectively using beneficiary designations, the estate can be settled more efficiently, with less public exposure and reduced legal and court costs. Special considerations for beneficiary designations in Georgia. In Georgia, as in other jurisdictions, specific considerations should be taken into account when setting up beneficiary designations to ensure that the estate planning process aligns with legal requirements and the personal circumstances of the individual.
Designating minors as beneficiaries. What you need to know. Minors cannot legally control assets until they reach the age of majority, which is 18 in Georgia.
If a minor is named as a beneficiary without any additional planning, A court-appointed guardian might be required to manage the assets until the child reaches adulthood. To avoid this complication and potential additional costs, many choose to establish a trust or use a Uniform Transfers to Minors Act (UTMA) account to hold the assets for the benefit of the minor until they reach a specified age.
Tax implications of beneficiary designations.
While assets such as life insurance proceeds are generally free from income tax when paid to a beneficiary, other assets like inherited retirement accounts can have significant income tax consequences.
Divorce and remarriage. Updating your beneficiary designations.
In Georgia, divorce does not automatically revoke a beneficiary designation made to a now former spouse. Similarly, remarriage might prompt the need to add a new spouse or stepchildren to your beneficiary designations. It's important to regularly review and update your designations after such life changes to ensure that your assets will be distributed according to your current wishes.
Limitations of beneficiary designations in Georgia. Specific asset restrictions.
While retirement accounts, life insurance policies, and some financial accounts can be directly assigned to beneficiaries, other valuable assets such as real estate and personal property, e.g., vehicles, jewelry, art, typically do not allow for direct beneficiary designations.
These assets must be handled through other estate planning tools such as wills or trusts. Lack of flexibility and control. Unlike a trust, which can specify conditions or milestones, e.g., reaching a certain age, completing education, before assets are distributed, beneficiary designations result in a direct and immediate transfer upon death. Potential for disputes and errors.
Beneficiary designations can sometimes lead to disputes among family members, especially if the designations contradict the terms of a will or are not updated to reflect changed family circumstances, such as marriage, divorce, or the birth of additional children. Additionally, errors in designating beneficiaries or failing to update designations can result in assets being distributed to unintended recipients.
Impact on estate taxes and planning. While beneficiary designations can provide tax advantages, such as avoiding the income tax on life insurance proceeds, they can also complicate estate tax planning. For large estates that are potentially subject to estate taxes, the immediate transfer of wealth through beneficiary designations might inadvertently increase the tax burden or disrupt an otherwise balanced plan for minimizing estate taxes. No protection from creditors. In Georgia, assets passed through beneficiary designations are generally not protected from the creditors of the deceased. If the estate has outstanding debts, creditors might be able to claim the proceeds from these assets before they are transferred to beneficiaries. Overriding provisions. It's crucial to remember that beneficiary designations override wills. This means that no matter what is stated in a person's will, the beneficiary designation on a life insurance policy or a retirement account will prevail. Alternative estate planning tools in Georgia. Joint tenancy with right of survivorship, JTWROS. This is a common method for co-owning property where, upon the death of one owner, the property automatically passes to the surviving owners without the need for probate. Revocable living trusts. These allow you to maintain control over your assets while you are alive and facilitate an easier transfer of ownership upon your death, bypassing the probate process. Professional and efficient legal guidance from Trace Brooks Law. If you're considering incorporating beneficiary designations into your estate planning, guidance from a knowledgeable attorney can be invaluable. Our skilled Atlanta attorneys at Trace Brooks Law are well prepared to help you address the intricacies of these provisions. With our assistance, you can gain a clear understanding of your rights and responsibilities, ensuring that your estate planning efforts are aligned with your personal goals and provide clarity and comfort for your future and that of your loved ones. To take the next step in securing your legacy and making informed decisions about your estate, contact Trace Brooks Law today at 404-492-9559. Schedule a consultation to discuss how beneficiary designations and other estate planning tools can be effectively implemented in your planning strategy.